Hi, this is Bob Weiss. I'm the host of Shaking Your World. Cheers.
Folks, welcome home. Yet again, another quickie episode, a little flash in the pan here at Shaking Your World. We are at Shaker's again in the kitchen and in preparation for that wild game dinner we have coming up on the 18th of the month of September in the year 2020. I'm going to just launch a real simple little thing using some elk chops. I've got some very rare for us black radish. I've got some beets. I have turnip. And I have some purple potatoes from Peru. So to kick things off, I've got some water I've just started here. Salted this guy up. And I'm merely going to take this turnip and I'm just going to peel it. And I'm not concerned about some little parts and flecks of skin that are left on here. I just want to get some of the skin off of this. So these beautiful misshapen things, it kind of reminds me of Monty Python in a way. It's almost like we have Igor here, and we're just skinning him right now, and we're going to toss him in the water after we cut him. Just this misshapen kind of an entity that's going to be actually one of the stars of our plate. Just like in my mind, Marty Feldman was as Igor and young Frankenstein. So, just kind of like that. I'm not looking for everything off, as I said. Just kind of working on it a little bit. And a knife. Just a coarse chop. Again, going to be boiling this. A little divot of our stem off of there. This is another San Francisco style day in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Just last week we're in the 80s and 90s, and again this entire week has been in the 50s. And you certainly can feel that in your bones. And our outer decks are not open either, so it is truly the end of a season for us. All right, so we got that working away. I'm just going to put a cover on, a lid, just kind of move that along a little bit. Next up, I'm going to take our beets. And these are all, by the way, products from the West Allis Farmers Market. So this is incredibly fresh produce, just picked late last night, early this morning, and to us here at Shaker's today. You can just see the moisture. These are they're gorgeous. So we have two of these little guys. So root and stem off. Something just like this. Gonna get our pan going, and I want to take a little piri-piri. I want to get a little bit of pepper oil going on here. That's them. Now, the final entity that's going to go along with these elk chops is a black radish, and this is not dirt. This is the actual pigment of the skin, and typically you think about a radish, you think about something that's kind of a pinky white kind of complexion, almost really like that turnip was. They have a brilliant white skin on the inside. This is, of course, little blood, if you will, for the beet. I'm going to maintain the skin on this. I'm looking for a multi-toned little entity, so it's going to be really soft once this cooks. And radish is really a cruciferous product. It's part of the cabbage family. So we're just going to slice these into thin, a little bit more than a potato chip, but thin slices. If you have a mandolin, that would be a preferred way to use this, except that these are really tough. So you'd have to be careful that you don't fight too much against that mandolin and cut yourself. And you definitely need to have a sharp knife to execute these, because this is very thick and very dense. So for this pan, I'm going to use olive oil in combination with butter. So I want to have just a real rich flavor going on, and the radish by itself is kind of peppery. So extra virgin olive oil, and our induction burner with some butter. And even a little more butter. I want it to be very buttery. So as soon as that liquefies a little bit, we're going to throw in our black radish. Cool. Now, we'll be back in a few minutes as you see the progress on this, but at the moment all we're doing is we're just frying these beautiful beets and our black radish, and it's going to take easily 25 or 30 minutes for our turnips to be soft enough to make into a mash. See you in a minute. Hey guys, welcome back. So got a little ways to go on these. You got a beautiful coloration coming take place right now with the black radish. You see they're turning nice and brown. These just are gorgeous. They smell fantastic. The taste is going to be, keep in mind, this is part of the cabbage family, so the taste is going to be a combination of cabbage meets, I don't know, something else. It's going to have a real crispy texture to it, and it's going to be spicy like a standard radish, and yet a little bit more of everything. So in that same pan, though, we are going to do our purple potatoes, and these are from Peru. Peru is where potatoes originated from, or indigenous to, and purple potatoes are the color of the day there, and we've used these for, I don't know, a decade plus here, easily 20 years, and they're becoming more mainstream. Certainly you could find these at Whole Foods, but without paying that money, you can certainly go to places like Trader Joe's, or even your own farmer's market from time to time will have some of these things. And we definitely advocate that you cook with things that you are not accustomed to. It's a big world, and there are myriad flavors that will just sometimes surprise the bejeebers out of you and become your next favorite jam. So we're going to do this many of these little guys and just toss these into this pan that was used for the radish. So we will have some of the carryover flavors of the spiciness of the radish, but frankly, that's okay with me. So again, it's a bit of a nonconformist for food. I'm going to like this flavor, I'm sure, and it's going to be potatoey, and it's going to be a little starchy, and it's going to be just really yummy. That's what's going on here. Our beets are looking like they're just about done. Simply pan fried and some piri-piri oil. And we could use either one of these pans to cook the elk. Maybe we'll do it right here in the beets. Our turnips are boiling away, but as opposed to a potato, they're much denser. They're going to take longer, so we've got a ways to go on these. See you in a minute. Thank you. Folks, we're back. Now we've got some beautifully sauteed off beets. These are so sweet and succulent and fresh and wonderful, ready to rock and roll. We've got this exquisite black turnip here that I just sliced down as chips, if you will. They are brilliant. The flavor profile is, I don't know, it's like a potato meets a little bit of a cabbage meets something even better. It's got a nice pepper tone. It's not overly spicy. These are dynamic. I got these purple potatoes, the purple Peruvian Andean potatoes that are, for all intent and purpose, done as well. Last thing is I've got the turnip right here that's boiled away very nicely. I'm going to strain it now, and then I'll do a fast mash with these. And then we're going to do our elk. All right, so just because I want to carry the wonderful flavors and tonalities of the season. Now that we're into autumn forward, I'm going to take just a lot of butter and really just butter those guys. A little salt and pepper. Turn that down just a moment. Bring this forward and mash. Now these are, though they're al dente, they're still a little bit firmer than a potato would be. So this is going to take a moment's worth of work. If you want to put this in the food processor, you certainly can. You can zip through this in no time at all. And again, they don't even have to be mashed. They can just be smashed. And I think you'll be amazed when you get a chance to eat this. So this is kind of what we're doing for the wild game dinner. I've got Japanese sika deer. We have Himalayan nilgai antelope. We've got wild boar stuffed into quail as the primary courses there. And what I'm really looking forward to is that red stag deer from New Zealand. We've used it before. It's not one of the farm-raised products like the Cervinas. It's an actual wild-caught, wild-harvested, and it's exceptional meat. They are, quite frankly. That Himalayan nilgai antelope as well is just marvelous. So here we've just got these things smashed, and again, this is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a overly processed kind of a thing. So there we are, smashed potatoes. I'm going to pull off our beets right now and let them rest on the side. At the same time, I'm going to take our elk chops. We got the rib section here, and I'm just going to sear them really fast in the same oil that I've got here. This is a piri piri, or Babalu's piri piri oil, and then of course will be some flavorings and sweetness coming up from the beet as well. That can rest over there. Here we got this, and I picked these up today from the Becher Market in West Allis. So we've done a segment on them about a month or so back. Just salt and pepper. They have elk chops, $17.99 a pound, which is, I think, a great price. So this is kind of a little West Allis thing today. Hit the West Allis Farmers Market for all the produce that we're using, and then I'm just going to toss these guys in as they are. So they look, in many ways, reminiscent of a lamb. I'm not going to French these down or take these down any further, which I typically would do. If this is lamb, I would just be using the chop. Here we got this part of the flank as well, so I'm just going to do this as one total piece. And this won't take long at all. We can do this as a pan roast. We can set it here in the frying pan with the oil, and I can just move the entire pan over to the oven as well, and just let it continue to cooking through with ambient heat kind of a concept. Whatever you want to do with it, I'm sure it's going to be absolutely delightful. So just keep in mind it's incredibly lean, and it's going to cook very fast. So that really is about what I want on this side. Again, smells are phenomenal. And really, aside from waiting for the turnips to boil down, everything is cooked incredibly quickly here. If you want to have your meat done a little bit more well done than we would prefer here, because we're going for really a medium to medium rare. If you want it to be cooked more done, you could slice through each one of these ribs and do them individually, almost like you got the little lollipop type things. That will ensure that you have a consistently cooked product, but elk is just a marvelous, incredibly lean thing that I think should be done this way. Now to give it just a little bit more of a, boy, that looks so nice. Get her side, get another side. This would be something that you can take and make a raspberry sauce or a blueberry sauce, blackberry. You can take any number of really good jams, jellies, preserves, and you can use that and dilute that up with some wine and a little bit of salt and pepper, some seasoning, maybe some allspice. And in just moments, you have something really kicking that you can put on top of this. So we don't need to put this in the oven to finish pan roasting. We are ready to go right now. And so, I got this beautiful stack going on right here. Stand this up like this. Take some of our smashed turnips. A little smashed turnip right there. A little bit of our fried beets. And lastly, some of our purple potatoes. But something just like this is what we are going to do for our wild game dinner. This is elk. This is a lightly smashed turnip. This is beets, purple potatoes from Peru, and of course the remarkable black radish, all from the farmers market. So I hope you enjoy. We hope to see you at Shaker's for the wild game dinner coming up on the 18th of September. Cheers. Thank you.